What's up, everybody? It's your friend Isaac from Billet BMX, and today I'm doing a quick unboxing from my friends at Billet BMX. So, just debuted the big flyer, the stealth mode with the purple hits last weekend, and so got some parts that should customize that pretty well. So let's take a look at what we got here in this box. So let's take a look and see. All right, let's take. Go from here. There is a bag. And it looks like there's a hat. That is Fly. Billet BMX hat. Here we go. Looks dope. Good build too. Good looking out. All right. And the rest is going to be in here. So Billet BMX has been around for a couple months. I've been aware of them. They've been on my radar for a little bit, probably the last 6 months or so. Seeing some prototype designs and things like that. And I was like, dude, these look really great. Some good chain tensioners. They're a lot like the JW chain tensioners, only they have a wider back end or a slider. Which is one of the things I commented on in the chain tensioner shootout. So anyway, let's open this up here and take a look at these chain tensioners. So it's the same thing. It's the same concept as JW. Can't wait to show that right there. Pull all this stuff out. Okay. So first and foremost, I'm going to show you the packaging. These are the chain tensioners. I don't know why I'm doing that, but just in case. So they're purple and silver, or actually they're all purple. So chain tensioners, that's the packaging. The back is black. And I'm going to open these because I think these things are so dope. I'm a big fan of the internal chain tensioners. Let's go. Here we go. So flip it around here so you can see it. Billet BMX. Then it's got the Billet logo, and then it's got the ruler, which I think is just clutch. 2 holes, so depending on how big your dropout is, it'll fit your bike. And then Allen keyhole there to adjust the tension. And when I say the slider is wider, that's what I'm talking about right there. That is much wider and fits a lot bigger against the dropout than JW. So Billet BMX chain tensioners. Next, you got the Nutz, and these things are dope. So these are brand new. These came out about a week ago, and I love them. These are torque nuts. And man, dude, there's a lot going on here as far as engineering I want to show you. So first of all, it is not a typical socket. You're gonna have to have the torque socket. All right, and then black and polish. And then what's cool right here, if you see that, it's attached, the washer is attached. Man, that is cool. Good thinking. And then logos on the inside. And then I'm gonna twist the outside, twist the inside, so you can see that is 2 separate pieces. I'm trying to go extra to show you. So it comes with a pre-built washer. That is cool. So that is their set of nuts. These are the black ones. And then when they go together, to give you an idea, you'll see it here in a minute, but that's what it will look like. Very, very cool. So the chain tensioners and the nuts. We also got keychain that opens a beverage, or the top, slide it in, pop it up, and stickers. There we go. Big jumbo stickers. These look really good. Good 3D design. Thank you, Billet. And I can't wait to go put these on my bike. So we put all this stuff back in the bag, and I'm going to go down the garage and let's start playing. See you in a sec. All right, so now that I've unboxed it and I've had a little bit of time to hold the chain tensioner from Billet, I've kind of looked at it, gone over it, and thought about what I really like about it, and maybe thought about anything that would be a downside. So here we go. Let's show you the details of the chain tensioner. So first and foremost, a lot of people say this looks like JW. Design changes are, I mean, it's a chain tensioner. There's not a lot you can do with it. They did go with the internal, which everyone loves. I would do, if I was to design one, I would do that too. Everyone loves the ruler on the JW. They have a ruler here. So it's like it hits all the notches. It ticks all the box of what we want and we like out of chain tension. The other thing that I feel is a huge upgrade. Now we're going to go over this. I like that it has the painted logo, painted name here, the logo here. This can be swapped out with different colors if you want. There's easy, you see a little screw there, and there's one on the bottom there. So you can swap this out. The other big quality of life upgrade is right down here. The ruler numbers are painted instead of just anodized over. On the JW, there's no paint, it's just like tick marks. So you got to count them. This is an easy way to see, especially with the point on the bottom of the Billet BMX logo. So that's going to make it easier, even easier than the J. Let me hold it above my head. This will make even easier than the JW. So love that. But the thing that makes this win over JW is right here. The size of this slider is about twice the width of the JW, which means more of this, let me get it up closer here. This slider right here is what presses against your dropout. So this is going to move along the slider and press against your dropout, pulling your wheel back and giving you tension. So I like that it's stamped on the inside. Billet BMX gives you the size of 3/8 10mm axle and 70/75 CNC. Now, but the big thing here is how wide this is right here. This slider is twice the width than the JW. So you have more contact with your dropout. To me, that just gives me more confidence in the Billet BMX chain tensioner. So I'm going to go install this. Let's take a look at how easy this one installs, and I'll be right back with you. Hey, and before we go and put this on, I want to show you the Billet BMX Deez nuts. Now, cool things about this, it's got a built-in washer. So let me turn this. If I spin this, or I can spin that, it's independent, it's connected. That's really cool. The 12-sided cutout here, you can fit your socket on there, and it will not scratch the paint off of your nut. So like a good example right now, if you look at my bike downstairs, I'll show you a picture of it right now. Those are TNT bolts, and the paint has scratched off just from me putting the wheel on and off. Normal wear and tear, no cut on TNT. That's just what happens when metal touches metal. What Billet BMX did is they figured out that, you get the socket to fit in here. It's not going to scratch your bolt or your nut, and you're not going to have the same problem you have down with the other one. So it's not a cut on regular. It's on regular like TNTs or anything like that. It's just, this is the next step forward progression. So going to see what this looks like when you pair it with there we go. The Billet, flip it around. The Billet BMX. There we go. The Billet BMX chain tensioner. That's what it looks like there, but it pairs well. Let's go see what it looks like on the new bike. Let's go. All right, you guys, here we are down in the garage next to the new, this is the big flyer, the 2022 45 years. There's a badge there. This is the stealth mode big flyer with the purple. I have changed out the brake pads because I like CoolStop, but I still have the Tektro brakes, love them. The back here, I'm going to add a RideOutSupply Freewheel to this side so that I can flip it, because I don't know if a lot of you understand that you can put two size freewheels, a 15, a 16, a 17 and a 16, whatever you want to try out. You can run two freewheels, and then you just take the wheel off, flip it around, and you're good to go. So I may swap that, I don't know. I honestly, like my old flyer, my big flyer I ran last year, most of that was stock. So I'm not a big like, hey, you have to upgrade everything. So, all right, so today I'm gonna take these bolts off down here and we are going to install the new Billet BMX chain tensioners and the Deez nuts. Guys, I just had these hand tightened yesterday. So anyway, let me get these bolts off real quick, these nuts, and we will get to it. Now, I don't think I'm gonna run the chain tensioner on here on this bike. I'll show you what it looks like, but I want to run pegs, and the axle length here I don't think is enough to run a chain tensioner here. So I'm going to show you, there's the chain tensioner on. Let me get it backed out. There we go, chain tensioner. I just pulled it back a little bit. There. Already, I like how when this sits on here, you can see how much of the plunger hits the dropout right there. Now, I'm going to juxtapose something real quick. This is the Billet BMX. This is a JW. And when I get that on there, you can see the JW hits about half of the dropout. Billet BMX. Push that up there flush. And you can see how much of that actually hits a dropout. So you get more dropout contact there. Looks good. But the issue that I have is when I have the chain tensioner on there, that's how much axle I have left. If I put this on, it's pretty good. I'm gonna have enough. I'll have enough thread in there. But if I were to throw the peg on there, and then you feel through and you feel where that axle is, it is not enough to have both comfortably and safely. Can I screw it on there? Yeah, sure. Will it fall off? Yeah, will. So let me get this mocked up real quick and we will show you what it looks like. I get this nut on there, the nut will hold the tensioner in place like so, and I'll get the other one on the other side. Now when you buy these, they come in a package of 4, and you'll note that I don't have the washer because it has the add-in washer already on there. You guys, I'm an idiot. I'm holding the camera. You know what I did. But I'm going to leave this part because that was funny. All right. There we go. I'm still an idiot. At least this time I got the chain tensioner on before I put the bolt on. All right. There we go. I'll pull this back, get everything set up, because I'm doing this one-handed, so bear with me for 1 second. All right, now, let's see here. I'm gonna put this, I have a mouth mount, so I'm gonna put this in here while I get everything straight. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Okay, so what I've done, I haven't pulled the slider in yet, so the slider's still all the way back, but I have it tightened enough to where I can start sliding it in. So let me grab an Allen and we'll go. All right, so I have my 3mm Allen key, and you can see I'm twisting it counterclockwise until I'm just kind of, you'll see I'm moving it kind of up and down inside the dropout. There we go. Gonna do the same over here. And as I turn this, you see I'm turning it counterclockwise. You'll see right here, this plunger or slider will move towards the dropout. Again, I'm just kind of moving it up and down to where it gets flush. And then what I'm going to do is, the more I tighten this side, the wheel up here and down here will pull this way. As I tighten the other side, it's going to pull the other way. So right now, I can put a finger in here, like so, and not touch. But if I come over on this side, I can't even push my finger in. So I know it needs to go that way, right? So we'll come over here, drop this in, and I will get this, turn this. I'm watching up here. So I'm watching the tire in here as I turn this back here. So I'm watching it move. I'm gonna come on this side, finger test, still hitting. I want it over a little bit more. On this side, it's not much, but let's say maybe a turn, a little bit more than one. And I'm watching this chain over here too. All right, so my chain's tension is good. I'm looking down here, I can get my finger in there. Can't get it in here. So we will go backwards. And now before I was going counterclockwise, now I'm gonna go clockwise because I want to pull that plunger out to give myself more room. Over here, I will tighten this up because it has moved. Now the adjustment's a little different. There and there. Now here's the fun part. Why I really like these numbers down here. So looks like I'm right middle 5. On this side, three, almost 4. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. And over here, I'm at 3, almost 4. So it's pretty close to the same. I'm gonna get some fine tuning where I'm not holding the camera, and I'll be right back. All right, so now I've got them good. The first thing I test before I tighten down the bolts, how easy does my crank spin? Because a lot of times when you hear noise in your bike, especially a new bike, even an old bike, a lot of people will tell me, oh man, my bottom bracket or my freewheel is making noises and it's popping, or I can feel it. I think I got a bad bottom bracket. 9 times out of 10, chain's too tight. Go take a quarter turn and loosen your chain with your chain tensioners, and I bet you that'll fix that pop. Now, the other cool thing grab a 13 millimeter wrench. Now, this Deez Nutz has a 12 slot bolt, right? This won't work. But if you have a ratchet, turn it around, right? And look. I'll do it on the other side. I can do this one-handed because I have chain tensioners. So anyway, boom. This one batted down. There we go. Good enough. So, take a screenshot there, 13 millimeter. If you have one of the 12, a ratchet with 12, or you can go to Harbor Freight, get yourself some new sockets, and I think a socket set with a 13 millimeter with the 12 slot is about, it's under 10 bucks and you get a bunch of them. So anyway, there you go. Deez Nutz. Get out of light there. Deez Nutz with the Billet BMX chain tensioner. And I'm trying to get a shot so you can see that it does match the stock anodized wheels. Get your whole picture there with the seat post hub. There you go. That's how far it'll stick out. And you've got the shield here to give you your number down here. Much easier to do when you're not holding the camera, but you get it. And I got the two-tone, the black nuts with this purple anodized. There you go. So Billet BMX, I would say a huge difference over the JW. Nothing against JW, but you can't argue when I've got that much of the slider hit my dropout versus what JW had. So for that alone, worth a couple extra bucks. So there you go. Oh, and the other thing that's my kids just pulled up from school. All right. The other thing is why these are so popular and why these are so good. If you get a colored bolt, the slider, because there's 12 of these, slide into the negative area, the silver part, and it won't scratch your bolt. Where I have a bolt here from TNT, nothing wrong with TNT bolts, but if you look at the corners, the paint comes off because I do use a socket. So the first time you put one on, no matter how gentle you are going to scratch your nut. These, because they slide into the negative recessed area, using a ratchet and a wrench will not strip, or won't strip the paint off, won't scratch it. So there you go. All right, from the back, that's what you're looking at. There and there. There you go. All right, so that's it for the chain tensioners and the Deez Nuts from Billet BMX. So my final thoughts, up until this point, I would say the JW is my favorite chain tensioner. I think Billet BMX is worth the extra cost. I think it's about $10 more. And for me to have the painted ruler on there and the wider slider or plunger on the chain tensioner, absolutely worth the extra $10. And the colors look great. Matches up perfect with the SE anodized purple that I already have on the stealth mode Big Flyer, the 45-year edition of that bike. So if you're looking at, if you have that bike, or it's getting released here in a couple weeks. So by the time you watch this, if you do get that combo, it does look great together. It matches perfect. Now the nuts, the Deez Nutz. I think this is another great like technological upgrade. I think the surface, using a 12-point socket to tighten that up so you don't scratch your bolts. I think that's fantastic. I love that idea and the concept of that, and I like the attached washer that's already in there. I think that's fantastic. Now these come in an assortment of colors, and I did reach out to Billet BMX and ask them, hey, do these work with the profile chain tensioner. So let's say you just want the Nutz and you already have a chain tensioner that you're in love with. Maybe JW is the brand for you, but you want to use the Nutz. They do fit in the profile because profile has that recess section in the chain tensioner, and I'll throw that up on the screen now. Billet BMX made sure that they tested that before they went into production, and it was funny because when I asked, they already had pictures ready to go, so they thought about it. But man, check out billetbmx.com, make your orders there. I think they're trying to get into some distribution, so hang tight. Maybe you'll see this in your local bike shop soon, but for now, billetbmx.com is where you can get all of this stuff. And by the time you watch this video, I'm sure there'll be a lot more. I've heard some prototype stuff that's going on with them, so I'm excited to see what the future holds for Billet BMX. So thanks for watching. Take care. Have fun.